You cannot find peace by avoiding life. These words might seem simple, but to Oscar Omondi, life would be hard for him if he did not move on from a sad incident that happened to him at his early age.
My name is Oscar Omondi, and in music I'm called Shahidi Mosh. I was born in 1984, August, and exactly on 28th to be specific. We lived in Kisumu with my parents. My parents used to work in Kisumu. My dad was a music lecturer, he was a music trainer, music adjudicator, and he was a very good musician. Actually, he had a master's degree in music. But unfortunately, in 1997, they passed away in a road accident.
After this incident, rejection struck. Their closest relatives shunned from them, leaving them at the mercies of their grandmother, who became the mother at the same time a father to them.
After my parents passed away, we were not wanted home. So kind of my uncles decided they don't want to see us home. We were 4 kids. I'm the second born. I have three sisters, and I'm the only son in that family. And when my parents passed away, my elder sister was already married, so she was no longer living with us. So when my uncles refused to accommodate us, we had to relocate, and my maternal grandmother had to take care of us, and we went to live with my maternal grandmother. My maternal grandmother lives in somewhere called Suba district.
He recalls when his parents were alive, everything happened smoothly in their life. But after that fateful day, they had to face life as it was.
Banirudisha ocha, banisafisha pua, dhambi banitoa, nisiwe madoadoa. I did my primary school in Kisumu, and life was very smooth. My parents were okay, they were not rich, but at least we had most of the things. They could provide for us well. So life was basically good until I lost them. I lost them when I was in class 8, and that was in 1997. So that's when they passed away. That's when we had to relocate. So my high school, I did it with my grandmother at my grandmom's place. It was a day school. Life was not really simple. It was very hard because my grandmother had the sole responsibility of feeding us, feeding for us, and it was very difficult. At one point, I had to drop out of school for 1 year when I was in high school to try and support the family. It wasn't really an easy journey. It was very rocky, but I thank God we managed through, and I persisted through the well-wishers, especially my high school head teacher. He really supported me a lot. Sometimes he even paid my school fee. I sat my KCSE in 2002, and I passed my exams, so I joined Kenyatta University.
Being an orphan did not hinder him from performing well in school. Against all odds, with the support of well-wishers, he performed well in high school examinations and joined university.
In Kenyatta University, I did education arts. I did Kiswahili and history. So I'm basically a teacher of Swahili and history. But then again, after Kenyatta University, I thought I could do something more. So I decided to further my education. Immediately after my graduation, I joined Kenya Institute of Communication, the Kenya Institute of Management, where I did my public relations management, diploma in public relations management. Then also, I've always yearned to be a communication specialist, by the way. So that wasn't enough for me. So I said, okay, why don't I do something else again in communication? So I went further and did a mass communication, postgraduate diploma in mass communication again from the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, the one at South B or South C, I think South C. So I graduated in 2010. But you see, the dream was not achieved yet. I've always dreamt of doing well in academics, and I've always dreamt of following the footsteps of my dad, because my dad had a master's degree in music.
Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. After his high school, he managed to study various courses, and still he is yearning for more.
Then also, I've always yearned to be a communication specialist, by the way. So that wasn't enough for me. So I said, okay, why don't I do something else again in communication? So I went further and did a mass communication, postgraduate diploma in mass communication again from the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, the one at South B or South C, I think South C. So I graduated in 2010. But you see, the dream was not achieved yet. I've always dreamt of doing well in academics, and I've always dreamt of following the footsteps of my dad, because my dad had a master's degree in music. So I said I also need to do something further. So in 2010, I registered for Masters in International Relations from Nairobi University, where I'm going to graduate probably this year, because right now I'm doing my final project. Once I do the project, I will just...
How else but through a broken heart can the Lord Jesus enter the life of a person? Oscar Omondi decided to give his life to Christ, for him alone knows the destiny of everyone.
Kanitia adabu, amefanya maajabu, kutoa exina kwa klabu. Nimeenda kwa waganga wengi we, kutafuta kazi nimekosa kazi bana we. Kumbe mganga mwenyewe hana kazi we, ananipora alishe familia we.
I got saved in 2009, almost immediately after my graduation, because I graduated in 2008. Life before salvation wasn't very good, but one thing with me, ever since I was young, ever since the death of my parents, I have always known that God is there, and I have always prayed hard to God. And since the death of my parents, I always knew that it's only God to look up to. So even though I wasn't born again before then, I always prayed to God. I always told God, God, I just feel like I need to follow you and all that. But I never felt I had the courage to, say I'm now born again, confess that I'm born again. But in 2009, actually when I was still in college, I was almost going into secular music. I tried recording secular music because I knew I would one day end up a musician. I really loved music much, but the secular music did not go on well, and everything I tried doing did not just work out. And at one point I just gave up on music. I just said, okay, maybe it's not God's plan that I should do this, so I just stopped singing like that. In 2009, I got born again, and I dedicated my life to God. Then in 2011, I decided to go back to music again. Actually, in 2010, I decided to go back to music again.